Good evening. Welcome back here on my channel, arunfoot. This is Arnav Chaudhary. It's the 28th of October 2024, a Monday. After all those, bad results, a bad weekend for Indian football, and let's try and pick up the pieces and try and see what we can sort of speak about and how things should be turned around. Otherwise, what are we going to talk about? As always, and before we go too deep into the discussion, as always, like, share, and subscribe arunfoot here on YouTube, on my other social medias, and arunfoot. And as I said, like this video if you think it is worth. Share it with other people. Let other people join our conversations as well. And it's I find it a tough day, to be very, very honest. And Jesus, sir, please save Indian football. I will. The little that I can do, I will try and do. But it's not a one-man job. It will need a team effort of people who are dedicated, who love Indian football for the right reasons. And that to me, I think, is the challenge that we face today. I felt today a little blank. I've tweeted more than I did in the last few days as well, or weeks as well, actually, to be very honest, because having been in Delhi about 10 days back, 7-8 days back in Kolkata. Actually, last Monday, I left Kolkata in the morning and came back, and I didn't have a good feeling, to be very honest. And I've said this in the one or the other video, or I've said this on the channel as well. The question is, how can we turn things around? I think that's the big challenge now. How can we change things around for good for Indian football? Who are the people who are going to come forward and change things for good? Because I know there are a lot of people who sell themselves as being potential saviors of Indian football. They are doing the right thing, and a lot of people, sorry to say, you guys are part of the problem. You're not part of the solution. Move aside. Let the right people run this game. Otherwise, I don't know how low we can go. I think that's my big concern at the moment with Indian football. And let's wait and see. Mine says hi. Do you think we are at our lowest, or is this a cycle? Mine, it's a good question. First of all, but to me, the point here is, there are cycles. You go up, you go down. You hope things will change here and there. But overall, despite all that we've seen, to me, the challenge remains and you realize also, I'm also searching for the right words today. That you'll have ups and downs, and we've had more downs than ups in Indian football. Let's be very frank. Let's be honest. At least my experience of the last 26 years, I know certain people have tried to sell certain things as successes, as huge things, but the reality, in my opinion, is that we've had few small successes over the years. But we also need to recognize that it's not only us. The world around us is revolving. I'm fed up of this, everybody is at fault and we didn't do anything wrong scenario, which I see with a lot of people now liking to do, right? Oh, this is their fault, that is their fault. It's like now blaming the AFC for Australia versus Indonesia. Okay, blame them. Okay, right, yeah. And to me, but still then, we do not, even if we, our results matter. The under-20s, the under-17s, the senior men's national team, all of these teams have had easy draws. If we want to blame the AFC, I'll blame the AFC. Why did you give us such easy draws? Let's turn the conversation around, right? My point is here is, how do we make things right? Right? And that's very difficult. Very, very difficult in this given scenario. Hi Chandu, good evening. Showcast, welcome back. No one is sacked from the AIFF administration after such a drastic season. When will the changes start to happen? Yeah. If there is an understanding that they're doing things wrong, that would be a start. Has anyone in the AIFF come out and said, you know what, we're doing things wrong? I haven't seen anything. Hi Rishabh, honestly, I was hoping the women's team would lose had we not AIFF would have escaped with the state women's football is right now. Yeah, but again, even at the IWL, I mean, let's be honest, we were better. And that's the joke in itself, right? Without any structure, actually, our women's football was better. With the limited structure that we've created over the last 5-7 years, women's football is a paradox. With our players, even our top players, did you see Sabitra Bhandari yesterday for Nepal? That's a leader on the field. And we had 3-4 leaders on the field and they couldn't do it, right? So for me, we have to ask everybody. Ask the AIFF. Ask the coaches. Ask the players. I think we're at this stage across teams. We now need to ask each individual player, are you giving your best? Or are you just not good enough, right? The system, the stakeholders. What kind of talent are you producing? Where do we stand on this day? Where are we on this 28th of October, 2024? Right? I'm fed up with back-to-back sad news. Chandu, yeah, it's nice that you say that you're fed up, but again, say you're right about your 17 Thailand match prediction. Sadly, I was. I said 1-2 or 2-3. We'll give them a fight. We were leading 2-1, and then again, this is something which is being repeated multiple times now with the men's team, the women's team, the juniors. Why are we not able to play 90-minute matches? And don't come me with this water break in the ISL and all that stuff. I don't know if there are water breaks at the youth level or women's game, right? We need to talk about things. We need to look at things. We need to change things. And, change, there needs action, but it won't happen, right? The radical change will not happen. That's what we would need, but that will most probably take time for things to move in the right direction. That's my big concern at the moment. Given the realities of things, it'll take time. Shokat says Kalyan Chaub is a spineless corrupt person who's eating Indian football and have appointed people who will destroy Indian football with him. When will the president change? But do we even have option? I think the first thing I want to say is, I was laughed at 2.5 years ago, when this whole, situation around the AIFF evolved and started, and we could get banned, became a big topic. And I told certain people, the old dispensation isn't perfect, but they've created a certain structure. Reality. I think it's the same as with Stephen Constantine. A lot of people now understand what Stephen was doing compared to when Stephen was there. Right? Give your gali to Praful Patel. Give your gali to Kushal Das or Sunanda Thor. They created somewhat of a system over a 10-12 year period. Not a perfect one, not a finished product, but it was working, despite of all the problems that were there and are there in Indian football. And my perfect example is the topic of India under-20s or Indian Arrows, whatever we want to call the program. Why do we have such a program? Or why was there discussion to restart such a program? Because on one side, the AIFF is not able to structure its system in a way that the transition from 16 to 21 is happening. you know, Um and then, yeah, where have we gone in these last 2 years, right? I've seen now multiple people posting about the vision from 2026 and vision 2047 and all those things. Nice. Makes no sense. Because I said from the start that vision is a nice document, it's a PR document, but where is the implementation? How does it work? Right? Talking about bringing in 500 crores, doing this, doing that, it's nice. But the reality is that even those people who say, hey, Indian football has a value, listen, the broadcasters want Indian football for free because they don't see any value in that. And I've been saying this, people have trolled me for that. Someone has even written something nasty in my comments, saying that, I'm part of the problem. If I'm part of the problem, fine. I will, let's make this the last show, and tomorrow onwards, do it yourself. I've put the finger in the wound, and I've tried to explain to people what the problems are. Thank you for all of you who are following me, who are supporting me, and, trying to grow this. But if people really cared today about Indian football, would we now be 23 people? We would be thousands of people having this discussion, right? Because that's the reality. Are people really bothered? Are people knowing what is happening? Because the content space is nice to have, right? But who is creating content is also my question nowadays. So let's pack up our stuff and stop making efforts for Indian football. Nothing going to change. These videos, tweets, comments will not move Chauve even an inch. Let's meet in Delhi and rebel. Dhruv, this might be the case for most people, but what I have always done, and I rather have done things behind the scenes and will do it. Try and hope, you know, and I try and change things. Again, YouTube videos, tweets, comments are nice to have, but do they have an impact? That's a question, that's a question to be asked, because I've had more conversations today offline with people calling up, speaking. And again, most of the people don't want to even make it public that they're speaking and trying to find solutions to problems. But there are people who still care about Indian football, who work in Indian football. So that's one positive that I feel, that I realized today, right? And I hope that we can change things in some sort of form way for good, because it's tough. For me, it feels tough today. Today is one of those days where I say, we should be elsewhere. We should be in a different position. So that's the reality. Honestly, AIFF has given us so many loopholes, like group draws, even many times referees favor us, but all we did was lose, disappoint, corrupt, and play victim card. Entire world see us with sympathy. No, entire world does not see us with sympathy, Showcast. Those who understand football are laughing at us. Those who show us sympathy don't understand football. We, at this moment, sorry to say, we don't deserve sympathy. We are looking at loopholes, at gasping, at grabbing straws of everybody else's fault. But hey, listen, this is it's not my fault. It's not our fault. That's the biggest concern, in my opinion. That is the biggest concern that I see, is accountability. As I said, those of you who've seen the video, thank you very much. If you haven't, do see the video. But I do raise the question: is who is to blame for Indian football's failures, right? And that's that to me is the most vital point today, is that there is no one person, right? Point the finger at AIFF and Kalyan Chowdhury. But my question is, for example, Ishfaq Ahmed has been blamed. And I know Ishfaq for many, many years. I spoke to him in Kolkata at the Derby, right? Maybe I'm biased because I like Ishfaq. But Ishfaq clearly told me certain things. I'm not going to talk about them publicly, but I know what the issues are for him. And it's not easy. He has to live and work with the talent that is provided to him at under 17 level. This at the moment is the best that India can produce. And this is not the best that we should be producing. So that is the question. The academy, the football clubs, the football schools, soccer, whatever it is, they need to be asked. Our coaches need to be asked the question, what kind of rubbish are you producing? Sorry to say that so drastically. What kind of rubbish talent are you producing? Why are our players the worst? Whoever we are playing at any level, why are our footballers the worst footballers? You know, look at, people were defending. Look at the support Nepal yesterday had. Look at the passion that the team put onto the field. Sabitra Bhandari is a leader on that field. Look at our team, be it the women's, be it the men's, be it the boys. I take the under 17, under 20 a little out, but I'm missing passion, love, dedication to try and show. This is the problem that I see. Said you think there is pressure on AIFF because of social media as compared to old times? Mayank, they don't care about social media. Certain people do care, they interact, but did they change anything despite writing stuff on social media? No. This is part of the problem. As long as the right people don't run Indian football, things will not improve for the, will improve. And people have been taken for a ride. That's my big concern when I see things. That's my biggest concern, and that is something which I agree. This is something which we need to talk about, right? Hi, Manolo, welcome back. This is high time we all Indian football well-wishers need to unite and protest against the whole Indian football ecosystem. If we can protest for Asian Games, which has no value, then we can do for this. Yeah, but the Asian Games was a PR stint, right? The Asian Games at the end with all the protest, Yeah. So that's something, that's something which should be, So did you see how Vishal celebrated after second goal in front of the Thailand fans and silencing them? Gesture, it was overconfidence. This is not how you do. Celebrate after winning, but don't be overconfident. Manolo, I saw that part, yes. That is one part. And the second part that I've heard from Thai friends who were there in Chonburi yesterday, that actually the Indian team was treated with a lot of respect. Right? It was certainly was hostile sometime in the game, but they were treated with respect. And this is something, the problem is that these kids see too much of international football. They see, again, big scandal at the moment, Ballon d'Or, Vinny Jr. will not get the award. And it's right. Vinicius Jr. is not the best player because he's a bad example for kids. Cristiano Ronaldo, Neymar are bad example for kids. Vishal has seen it somewhere. Someone has done it. And he's copied it. Do you think that it came to his mind? Of course he copied it from somewhere. These are our problems. What are our kids learning? They're learning the wrong things. They're not learning the dedication, hard work. Cristiano Ronaldo is one of the hardest workers in world football. Do they do that? So U23, U20, U17, men's, women's teams all failed. ISAC clubs failed in Asia. We're moving nowhere. Yeah, Manolo, that's a problem. Yeah. Sir, you have no idea how horrible I still feel after supporting Euro in 2023 and ignoring anyone who was against him just because I saw us winning against small teams, but I still hope even today to improve. Showcast, again, if you've understood it, good on you. But again, I said it. Watch the old videos from July 2023. I said it. Rahul and I were talking. I said it. I was sitting in Bangalore. I was not impressed. I was there I think there is nobody else in the world who's seen that many matches of an India team in different locations around the world. Again, don't want to boast, but that's a fact, right? I've seen since 1990, 92, I first saw India play against Iran in Kolkata. That's the first India match that I saw. But I've seen, over the last 40 plus years, 30 plus years, so many matches of the Indian team. That I wasn't impressed. India versus Hong Kong, we qualified for the Asian Cup. Great. Didn't play good. SAF, semi-final, final. It's a 50-50. We win it on penalties. These are all realities. We fans also failed. We only care about our clubs. No, I think I think there are nowadays a certain section of fans who do care about the national team. But the reality is, yes, if I make videos, I'll tell you, if I make videos, today's video, of course, has gotten a lot of views. Of course, this is a topic, yeah. But if I discuss, development of Indian football or general things, people are not watching. So people want the masala, right? We're not willing to look into what is needed, what will we need to do to change things. Like UEFA has UEFA Youth League, does AC have any similar tournament where clubs, youth players play at continental level? No, they don't, Deadshot. And the AFC has recommended to the regional federations to try and work out to have competitions at that level. But when we come back to SAF, again, SAF is another laughing stock after yesterday, what happened at the Dasrat Stadium in Kathmandu. They are unable to do a men's, SAF club competition for the last 15, 16, 17 years. I don't know. I think I first heard in 2007 or 8 that there will be a SAF club championship or something of that sort. Polash says nothing will change. Polash, I hope things will change at some stage somehow, because it can't get worse. That's my concern at the moment, that where we are is a problem, was a problem, is a problem, will be a problem. But I hope, and that's something, that we all need to. That's why I said, I wrote today, Indian football fans can't turn their back on Indian football. Main thing, you cannot turn your back on Indian football, So for me, it's very, very important that I will continue my fight here. But again, this is one part of what I try and do for Indian football. I will try and do stuff in the background. Again, I've had conversations on the ground with people, and I know that there are people who are trying to change things. But it's not just a football thing. It's a sporting problem. India has a sports problem. I don't know if you saw, I retweeted those images from the Nehru Stadium in Delhi. Diljit Dosanjh had a concert yesterday, and it looks, I don't know if, and this is another problem, right? And Diljit Dosanjh was earlier this month in Düsseldorf. He had a concert here in Germany, the home stadium of Fortuna Düsseldorf, who are top of the second Bundesliga. Yeah, that stadium was used a few days later for a football game in the second Bundesliga. So that is all these things come together where, when India, we need to have respect for sports, for sporting athletes, but also let sports professionals manage and run sports. I think that is where we need to get to. How many AIFF members are politicians, Memani Puttipat, as far as you know? Pranjal, 6, 7, 8 come to mind immediately. Maybe most probably there will be more. There are business people, there are other people, but is that, again, AIFF members is not my problem. My problem is who is running the federation and how, right? If the right people run the federation, then it is not a question of who, let the politicians be. Make the president a politician, not a problem. He is supposed to not be part of the operative side of the federation. The operative side, the administration, needs to be run by the secretary and his staff. He's a paid employee of the federation. Let him run the federation, let him be a pro, and let him also take hard decisions. If the federation needs to go through with stuff, that's the point. If AIFF did not say anything after U23 qualifies round 3, U20 women's team failure, then do you think they will do anything now? No way. I don't know. Again, it's sometimes the question is what they say publicly, and sometimes what they do, right? So therefore, that's something which is the problem, right? So therefore, that's a question to me. That how do we change things for good, and what happens? Not everything. Again, not everything which is discussed in social media is going to be the discussion that is happening, behind closed doors. There's a lot of conversations happening, As I always say, people know 5% maybe of what actually is discussed or what is not discussed, or what is happening and what is happening there. So these are realities. Hi, Dark Knight. Welcome back. I told you before, U17, U20, and men's team will fail to qualify for the Asian Cup. Yes, you did. Men's, we still have an option, so not losing all hope. Sir, do you remember the chaos after India lost to Afghanistan, the fan chants against the coach? It was great to see that was a real protest. The entire stadium was chanting. Yeah, showcast. Again, yes. But did the federation act? Did they fire the coach at the time? No. They went on and allowed the coach to survive 3 more months. And again, I think that anybody else had come in, I think somehow or the other, it would have salvaged most probably the qualifiers for us. That's the reality. Sir, your thoughts on Indonesia versus Australia match? I know we do not blame any other for our own failure, but will AFC ban these two teams for match fixing? Manolo, again, 2 points. One, can you prove it was match fixing? Was it discussed? I don't think it was match fixing. I think that they did not want to take a risk. That's different. Again, this is another thing of reading a game. The biggest one of this kind, which you would call match fixing, which was of, you don't attack, I don't attack, is the shame, as in Germany we call it, the shame of Gijón. West Germany versus Austria. Both teams needed a draw to move ahead. I think Algeria was it Algeria or Morocco, one of the North African sides, and it happens. Again, what can the AFC do? The AFC, I think, needs to discuss other things. I think the AFC needs to discuss of how to make these competitions more just. I think that you could do, I don't know how, but somehow or the other, maybe even, if you take the second spot and say, listen, you've got 10 teams in that and 5 of them qualify. Hey, do a playoff. Invite those 2 teams, do a playoff across age groups, wherever you're having this kind of, Thailand players were technically way better. Our players were physically good only. Yeah. Again, and I'm not even going to discuss why were we physically good, because we were overage. That's the question. I live near the AIFF's petty Dwarka office. I've always questioned why people do not show up and block the office unless Chaubey resigns. AIFF's current regime is ashamed to the sport like football. Dhruv, ask how often Kalyan Chaubey comes to the office. If you block the office, it's nice. But you're not targeting the right people. That's the other point. A protest in front of Football House will stop the operations and the little work that's happening. Yeah. So, these are realities. Dead Shark says players at fault. Africa and South America players have no facilities. Poor federations, still they make it to Europe. Spot on. Dead Shark. I think that's another area we need to talk about. Our players have been spoiled, in an Indian context. I think it's a big problem at the moment. I think it's a big problem for us because the players are, to me, the point here is, if you look at the men's team, spoiled, overpaid. But even the women's players now, if I see the way they played, I mean, I love the passion. Sorry to say that, I love the passion that Nepal showed yesterday. Despite all that happened, all that tamasha, they continued, equalized, and then won on penalties. And the saddest part of it all is that I have to say Nepal deserved to beat us. How far have we come in women's football in the last 2-3 years to say that Nepal deserves to beat India? Wow. Incredible. And that is the disturbing fact, I feel. Nepal had 526,000 watching on YouTube yesterday live. Even none of our national team go and don't get this kind of viewership. Manolo, as I said, I was impressed what I saw at the stadium, the passion. You're adding another factor of it that the whole country was supporting. And we are nowhere. I think a huge factor is not watching enough good quality games on a daily basis, which makes us lack the culture which should be ingrained in a sport. The lack of love and exposure to quality hampers. Um, yeah, reporter Fika Gupta, you have a point over there, but by thinking that by watching Premier League on television and Champions League and a World Cup or La Liga, whatever will change, I think we need to support, even if the standard is not good, you need to support your local football. So next year will be very interesting for men's national team and ISL. Mank, first of all, men's national team, 100%. I think with ISL, the question is, will the ISL survive with the steps that the AIFF was taking? I'm not sure. I am not sure if the ISL will continue next season. It's, yeah. So your video on who to blame for Indian football was really good, and why doesn't the president of tech committee have the courage to speak up? Job is here for the money and the political PR. He's not in for the money, woman. In his position, it's not the money in the AIFF. Honestly, it is. Is it political PR? Wow, has it helped him? Has he won ever a political race? Yeah, I know that these things will be said, but where is the money to be made? Right? Football doesn't make money for people. Government doesn't have billions of dollars lying around to invest in sports. Who can't perform? We are a poor nation. We need to accept that. Yeah, and no. I think sports is something which is a soft power, and India is not utilizing it. We're laughing stock as well with the whole Olympic discussion where we put it forward and nobody seems to think, India hosting 2036, where? It's an inside India discussion. It's not a global discussion. Do you think all the matches should be played at a time so that the scenes like in the universe will not happen? Fast food is very simple. If you can, yes. But the question is, with Asia being so vast, if you say you've got matches in Australia and then you've got matches in the Middle East, how are you going to place it at the same time? So someone's going to play, I don't know, at 7 in the morning, and someone else is going to play, I don't know, at 10 o'clock at night. There are logistic problems in Asia which we also have to accept if we like it or not. I think the better format would be really take all the second place teams and do a top 5, bottom 5. I don't know by rankings, by what you did, what you didn't do. So there needs to be a different format. Rodri winning the Ballon d'Or or instead of Rahul, KP or Manveer Singh. I think Rajat, if Rodri is winning it, I think nobody else deserves it, to be very honest. If you see the way that he won the Euro for Spain, that's, reality. Modi ji cares about Spanish football, but he can't even see what his politician doing with the federation of his country. Yeah, but that's PR, right? Talking about Real Madrid and Barca brings you more eyeballs than if he's going to talk about the failures of the Indian teams yesterday. Sir, it's simple. Our national team has to perform in all age groups. That will attract more crowd, and then your channel will grow. Mayank, if that's going to be the case, I think I'll have to wait a long time. I think we'll remain a small group of people, of who we are and having our discussions. But again, I'm fine. I'm fine with that. I don't have a problem with that, and I enjoy having that conversation with you guys. But these are brutal realities of where we stand and what we need to do, and hopefully things will change. It's South Club Championship idea was from 2007. Pranjal, these are not new ideas. That's why I've said multiple times that these kind of ideas I only accept that when we know that it's happening, then we can have a conversation. At the moment, they're not happening, right? We are rock bottom below the level of FIFA ban and rank 175. Yeah. Ishfaq Ahmed. Sorry, guys. Ishfaq Ahmed also failed in his second half tactics in Thailand by parking the bus. Manolo, the question here is also, did Ishfaq have another option? Right? With this team? If we're going to play open football with Thailand, we're going to get thrashed. And then you have to choose what you're going to do. Who expect you to develop U17 players? Rashid, that's part of the problem, right? In that time, with the lack of basics, very difficult for someone. That's why even youth coaches with skills to develop players abroad are always better. Our players do not get enough game time at youth level as there is no long running league at youth level. Shomo, that's part of the problem. But again, if you get better coaching, at least your basics should be better, right? And our basics are not good. I start with the basics. The basics are not good in Indian football. That's part of the problem. How's the federation actually run? How's the federation run? Well, you have a president, vice president, treasurer, and an executive committee made up of all the state associations, and then you have that's the political side, I would say, and then you've got the operational side, which is run by the secretary general now, or general secretary as it used to be called in the past, and the paid staff at the federation. John Tural and Shankar were top yesterday. Tural touches or something else is coming into the groove. Manolo, I said that he's a class player. It's just that he needed that goal. I think if John Tural yesterday scored one, he would have scored. That's the reality. Is there any way possible we could make the current AIFF regime leave? Would we have to wait till the next election? Arman, next election. Again, that's the only way I guess that will change. I don't see change coming from within. Very difficult at the moment given the realities of things. It looks tough. Looks very, very tough that changes will happen the way that maybe you or I or other people would hope for, because that's the reality of where we stand with Indian football these days, right? Who, according to you, is the right person currently to run the federation, if you can name one person? Rachit, difficult to say. Within the right person to run the federation, the secretary, there are, difficult. I don't have anyone in mind at the moment. Hi, Abhishek. I don't have any words. What I'm witnessing, I started watching football from 2012. Over these, always we would have high hopes, would see little improvement, and boom, go back to worse. Yeah, Rushabh. Tough, right? Tough. Should we expect some resignations inside AIFF after Shambhala Kira in all formats? Mark, not seeing anything at the moment, to be very honest. Here, Indian football is lacking behind, but our players are earning in crores. Who to blame? The clubs. On that front, certainly the clubs are to blame, that they're throwing money at the players. Who else? So if we're not providing the players the right structure, long youth leagues, exposure matches, and quality coaches, how can we expect them to deliver results? I don't know. Is that being delivered around the world? Right? Don't give the players an exit. Don't give the players an exit. Tural looked good in terms of technicality, but he's nowhere near Greg in terms of being genius in the field and work rate and finishing ability. Let's see. I think that John Tural is a better player than Greg Stewart. ASEAN football page itself called the match fixed. Manolo, ask these guys if they understand the word fixed. Right? Again, too many people are talking about things that they're sorry to say they don't really understand how football works. That's that really now gets me angry. That people are talking about things where they don't, It's a shame that we didn't qualify for the AFC U17 championship. Yeah, but why? Because we cheat. I remember Judge defending Pasha in the Sagal podcast with Srimach after he was asked by Sagal that Ashish Negi and other journalists are pointing with decision hiring coaches of election. Again, choose what you listen and hear wisely. प्रफुल्ल पटेल को प्रेसिडेंट बनाओ AIFF का सर हिंदी में बोलिए. Ashish, my Hindi is not good enough to be speaking Hindi, so therefore I speak English. Sorry. Let's see what What happens? I don't see Praful Patel coming back. Nepal is passion. Indian players only want money. Yeah, sounds like it. Everything is messed up. The AIFF is the biggest culprit in the decline of Indian football. I think the AIFF is part of the pyramid of the culprits, not pyramid, of the stakeholders of culprits. Yeah. Wasn't there a World Cup where a safe game was played and after that rule was changed regarding passes to goalkeeper? Pranjal, the safe, I don't know if you want to call it a safe game. No, it wasn't the goalkeeper's rule. That was a different thing. The safe game I think you're talking about is the shame of Gijon between Germany and Austria in 1982, and then they sort of last matches were played in parallel. Yeah, let's see what happens. Inflated ISL is another reason for downfall of our youths. They know if they represent India at junior level, they can easily secure ISL move. Yeah, but again, I think the ISL is part of that. ISL has made it worse. But in my opinion, even in the NFL and I League days, the salaries were too high of our players. I know the players will argue with me on that, but I felt that our salaries have been too high for a very, very long period. And that's been one of our problems over the years, you know? So yeah, that's the reality. That's the reality of how things are. Over 41 minutes. Those of you who might be new to the channel, welcome. My name is Arun Chaudhary. Welcome to Arun Foot here. If you haven't, do leave a like, share, and subscribe if you like what you're hearing. Again, difficult, tough day to discuss Indian football, but still doing it. 18 likes. Thanks a lot to all of you, and 1,859 subscribers. Thanks a lot. We need to grow. We need to talk about these things. Yeah, let's wait and see. Or now that I've heard Nuno Rice will be registered soon on the foreign quota of Mohan Bagan Supergen, but I'm not sure who he's replacing. Haven't heard anything on it so far. Not only football, other sports are suffering except cricket. I thought even cricket is now suffering with bad results. Do you think AIFF is moving away from FSDL and towards Shachi? Manolo, with these guys, you never know. And again, Shachi, I don't think will be the solution for the AIFF. I don't think so. Even after all the problems Afghanistan have qualified for Asian Cup. Yeah, Manolo, impressive, huh? Impressive. Santosh Kashyap's statements show the beta mentality of coaches. When it's men's and women's, we cannot afford to think we're the favorites and will win easily. Yeah, man, power problem. In India, sports is usually the third choice after studies. Many talented footballers discouraged by their parents following their dreams. MB top 10, it's yes, it is, but there should be enough talent still. And are we attracting the right people to play the sport? I will be happy if ISL stops. Fast food, if ISL stops, if you think today is worse, let's see where we are then in, let's say, 18 months. Do we have a structure left? We might go back to the days where, we play these local tournaments and that's Indian football. I think South Asian country need to play more matches with other countries, like every month, at least 2 friendly games and training in abroad to foreign coaches in the facility. Wake up, we can only play in the FIFA windows, right? That's part of the problem of international football. We're paying cross to these players only to draw against Paro FC. Yeah. Modi was talking about El Clasico because Spain's president is visiting, not because he cares. Yes, the Spanish prime minister is in India, but yeah, that's something. Why are we only playing one friendly? Countries choose matches over camp in India. Reverse happens because we don't have the money. Manu, it's a money question now in the AIFF of organizing matches and friendlies. It's, when will the AIFF president election happen and what process will be followed or what process have been followed till now, considering because it's still not implemented? Rishabh, I have no idea. And again, Panchal also asked the same question on the elections. To some extent, it depends on the Supreme Court. And I think at some stage, FIFA and AFC will also start asking questions because this was supposed to be an interim body and a proper one, something to come in. So therefore, at the moment, I don't see anything happening ontoward and something changing dramatically for the positive. So for me, my hope would be that things change. But at the moment, I'm not seeing things. Yeah, let's see what happens. Hi, Vaishnav. Do you think a change of regime will change anything? Vaishnav, it depends on who comes in. right? So that's the point. Can it change? Yeah, it can change, but the question is of the changes. You know, so therefore, it will be interesting to see. Habba saying Mohammed Supergiant did tell him we will do contract extension after 1 month. They did not contract this, and now this Coca would Shambhalit. Yeah. Resignation. Indian politicians don't have something known as shame. Yeah, that's the reality. Being a Manchester United and supporting Indian football, I don't even feel surprised in what it's like. It's just normal. Yeah, yeah. Bhutan football have VR, Indian football have Crystal John. Enough. Again, the VR discussion. If you think that VR is going to solve all your problems, you're living in fool's paradise, right? VR could cut down on certain mistakes, but I think we'll have different kinds of controversies. Just look at the leagues across Europe. Look at, Champions League, Euros has VR. VR has certain things as some wrongs have been rectified, but I don't know. I was watching. What was watching? Arsenal Liverpool. I think there were 2 or 3 instances where I would have said decisions should have been something else, right? I don't know. Most disgusting parties East Bengal have told AIFF they don't need point from abandoned matches. Clearly indicate Bengal clubs are bowing down over Diamond Harbour FC. Let Diamond FC come into ISL, then we will see more. Let's see. Show more. Can we get some law where clubs have to publish their financials when teams that was breaking salary cap? No, we can't make such laws, sadly. In my opinion, Dada, it's next to impossible to change AIFF top down. We should all hold our local state federation responsible, demand local youth and school leagues, get passionate people empower locally, and hopefully they elect better people in turn. Good approach, Vaishnav. If you look at, there are certain states who have done the right work and do the right things, but it's again the question: how many of them do we have? Right. That's the challenge in an Indian football context which we have, and but then the right people need to be willing to do the groundwork, and I think the groundwork is the toughest in an Indian football context, right? Anyone who's trying to change things for good, it is not easy. So therefore, these are all things that are there, and but again, in the AIFF, I think the AIFF can only change if the right people are running the federation from a management standpoint, right? The right professionals are running. So therefore, that's the reality. I stopped watching ISL matches a long time ago. I only catch 1 or 2 matches occasionally, not the entire season. Okay, and be top 10. At least South Asian country can play friendly match with each other team, and B division clubs of Europe for their practice, and other team can play with clubs youth teams for practice. Wake up! I know it sounds very logical and very easy. This is I don't know. It doesn't work that way. Why ISL referees are so bad? Akash, I thought they're not that bad. Huh? I thought that they've done better this season than in the season before, right? Modi ji cares so much about football that only club from his constituency has to play at Noyati. Yeah, very, very true, Akash. Does anyone care in AFF whether these very few fans remain interested in football or not? I fear no. I don't think they care. If you ask me, why not? Sorry, let me just have a sip of water. So that's part of the problem. Huh? I've been to Nepal and amazed by one thing that sports in the country is the first sports is at least there is one ground in every village. Just the board is corrupt. Okay, wake up. And Akash directly answered. There are football stadium functional galleries in every single town. Still, a football is dying, and 0% of non-cricketer clubs. It all depends on state FA. Yeah, very true. Isn't volleyball Nepal's national game? Ask the multiverse. I wouldn't know. If anyone knows, please answer. No, the thing is with Nepal, I've been to Nepal. It's impressive. Their love for the game in and around, at least I've seen it in and around Kathmandu, has been sensational to say the least. So yeah, it'll be interesting to see. What do you have to say about Nepal's comeback by being at the 10 men down against yesterday's match against India? Dipesh, impressed. I was impressed, as I've said earlier in the show, impressed by the support of the crowd. I was impressed with the way that Nepal, played. Sabitra Bhandari, exceptional player. Yeah, but again, the referee and Nepal. There's one point that I have to say is that stoppage could have been dealt differently, I think. But again, that's the only negative I can say about it. Days without ISL games look boring. Okay, Punjab. Sorry, now our referees are bad. Was watching Mumbai City's game in the stadium. Referee made so many wrong calls. Was slow at giving advantage. Amrinda was at a point punching him. Rushabh, I was doing a live yesterday. I felt the referee was actually spot on with most of his decisions. I mean, the only thing that I think was key mistake, he could have given Ahmed Chahu a straight red. That's the only thing where I say, there were the small ones, but there weren't big mistakes. I think, again, and when you watch a game live and then you watch a game on television, it's a different thing. Sometimes you observe things in a certain way, it doesn't work. We sent the worst club in ISL to represent us in AFC. East Bengal winning Super was a disaster for Indian football. Bablu's animation, again, it's the cup, right? So in the cup, anybody could win it. Even an I-League team could win the cup and then go to represent us. 2 players from yesterday women's team who never play in France, A Division League. Yeah, wake up. Sabitra Bhandari being one of them. I used to play at Medinipur Stadium during my school days, came to India. Yesterday went to play today morning. My stadium is better than most of the I-League clubs. IFA needs to wake up. Yeah, very, very important what you say, Akash. So I'm back after many time. I came against Will Man United playing good again after sacking the coach, and now it's officially announced that Vinny will not get Ballon d'Or. Is it fair or not? To me, good. Vinny Junior winning Ballon d'Or would be a scandal. I'd say it another round. That player getting the Ballon d'Or with all the BS that he's doing, no, doesn't deserve it. Sorry to say that. And with Man U, I don't know. I think the question is if Ten Hag was the problem or if Man United is the problem, because after Sir Alex went, all the coaches are in their own form away, be it Van Gaal, Mourinho, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, Ralf Rangnick, now Ten Hag, all of them have failed. The day I told you chess is better, English would never do this. Okay. Yeah, but is chess a sport? Sorry. What are all the support we can do as fans? Other than support, we have no other goal. Abhishek, the most important thing I feel that fans now need to do is make their voices heard and not just give up. I have a feeling that a lot of fans are sort of giving up and sort of, oh my God, things are bad, nothing is happening, there's that, everything. No, fans need to be vocal. Fans need to speak up, speak out, be known that the fans are still there. So for me, that's the most important thing. That's why I put out a tweet. Let me quote myself from earlier today. One sec, what did I write? What did I write? I wrote, my request to Indian football fans would be not to turn away from the game, but raise your voices even more. Speak about what is all wrong with football in India. Also know what to question, not just bashing for the sake of it. If things don't change, dark days are ahead. If you think these are bad days, things will get worse. I fear things will get much, much worse. I was near Mumbai City's goal and clearly saw him making errors even for goal kicks. Okay. Right? Who will win Ballon d'Or? And I guess, as I said, I think Rodri deserves it. Let's see. Is Indian football a sport? Of course it is. And if you like it or not, it is. It was a sport. It is sport. Let's see. Actually, Man United has a problem with Erik Ten Hag. The teams that are at the last, even they are not sacking their coach. This shows Man United mentality. Yeah. I saw a video today on Instagram. Mumbaikas are shouting for Yamal, but this will die, but we'll never watch the local club Mumbai City playing. Akash, yeah, there are, but there are other people who are now going and regularly going. And I say that to me, if Mumbai City have XYZ number of fans going on a regular basis and supporting Mumbai City, I think that's a positive development. Again, it's it's not easy to try and develop and grow a club. Mumbai City has done certain things right, certain things wrong, and that's going to be the challenge for Mumbai City now and over the coming years. So it isn't it isn't easy, and it's not only for them. I think it's for a number of teams in the ISL um, that they need to do more, right? And yeah, that's something that's not happening. Um, I don't know. It's a very at least India have to train 5,000 kids from 5 years age to play and give them proper training. Wake up. Um, 5,000 kids is not enough. I want millions of kids across India to play football, as many as possible, right? Get them just to play football. Let them enjoy football. That's all I want, you know? And, to me, that's the problem, right? That you're restricting yourself to these number of kids. At the top, we have to restrict ourselves, but at the bottom of the pyramid, I want kids across India. Every kid should be playing football. In an ideal case scenario, I know that's not going to happen, but as many kids as possible. East Bengal FC player, poor Indian football in total going downwards. What I would say to my children in future. Yeah, rare. I think, uh, um, it'll hopefully it will change in the future. Let's see. Sir, how you enjoyed your Pujo? It's late, but Shubh Vijay to you. Lots of love from Kolkata. Thank you, Zohin. Shubh Vijay to you as well, and to all others who celebrate Pujo. Pujo was great. It was great fun. A lot of work, and still some finishing work to do. But yeah, I enjoyed myself. I hope you enjoyed your Durga Puja as well. And now, of course, with Diwali coming up in the coming days, festive season, I guess. Yeah, for everyone. Arunda, the mindset and the way you understand Indian football and the maturity you possess, hope we all soon learn and gain. India need more fans like you. Thank you for helping us grow. Thank you, Pratik. Trying to do my little bit, as always, here and in reality too. You know, so therefore, yeah, I try and share what I think is right or wrong, and I also try and share the knowledge, the understanding that I've gained over the years, and um, let's wait and see. I can't sleep these days because club football is at top in ISL. Apart from that, our football is going in wrong direction. Yeah, you're rare. Yeah. Uh, uh, let's see. I hope that things go in the right direction. What do you have to say about absence of any continuous functioning state league or cup in our most popular state, UP? Actually, it's one of those states where sadly football doesn't have the structure or infrastructure to really, uh, to do the right things. That's the challenge I think that we have now with Indian football. So I hope it goes in the right direction, but signs are not good, to be very, very honest. I feel really sad. We have grand fan base from Manjapara to West Block, but when we will get results, it's 21st century. Given rare, yeah. You want to mention those fan bases? I would uh, add also the Kolkata Giants and other teams, but again, will will the West Block Blues, will the Manjapara come out and put out something and maybe put up banners and question Indian football as a whole, right? Simple question. I don't know. I honestly don't know, but yeah, it hurts today. Today things really hurt. Any update about Shachi League? Akash, what I've heard that Shachi already is having problems with the IFA. I don't even know that if the relationship will be continued. So maybe that league idea is already dead before it's even started. When will the Malaysia squad be released? Can Jitin get a call up? And who else have impressed enough to get call up? Where else who can be dropped? Showcast, I guess it will happen sometime next week. But you know, I don't know. Yeah, Jitin deserves a call up. So I want to, yeah. Yesterday I realized while Puya still is too green, needs a little bit more experience. But otherwise, yeah, Vibin most probably would be another one to look at. And then it gets tough. Maybe Parthiv Gogoi, of course, also impressed in that 5-0 against Jamshedpur. So those might be, hopefully Putia gets another chance. Yeah, those would be the ones to look at. Rai Mali needs to be back as well. I thought he played well in patches yesterday. However, what do you think from experience with AIFF will happen next in general? Roshan, I think they'll keep quiet and try to weather another storm, as they always have done. That's what I'm saying, that people need to speak up, need to keep this topic up. It can't die down. We've these so-called verbal protests on social media are there for 2 days, and then everybody forgets, and then you move on. No, it needs to be there. It needs to be. Fans need to take it to the stadium. Fans need to showcase it. It needs to be. If the commentators, reporters from the ISL see that they're forced to speak about these kind of things. I think that's very, very important at this moment, that these problems are mentioned, and therefore I'm saying create tifos, create again social media conversations, all of this. Yeah. Do you get any threat for calling out? No, Abhishek. And even if I did, I wouldn't care. Do put it to me. I don't have a problem. I you know I know who the crooks are, and they know people are shit. I know rather than threat, I think I know a lot of people are shit scared of me because I come from a point of knowledge. I don't bullshit people. Right? These people, a lot of these people have scammed the system and are scamming the system. With me, that would not be possible. And it will not be possible because I try and do things the right way. Am I going to be right? As I always say, no, I will not be right every time. I will also make more mistakes, but at least I would try to do it the right way. All state football league is question. Okay. Do you think we're going towards state-based super leagues and eventually these leagues will replace existing state leagues? Akash, I think the state league idea is already dead before it started. Kerala, for example, I don't know how that will survive with all the PR behind it. It's not working, right? And they've done, yeah. It's a cheap failed version of the ISL. Let's put it this way: nothing more, nothing less. Tango Sinto is making Hyderabad a good team. Finally, Hyderabad is now in hunger for winning the games. If Sinto makes this team a good beast team, this team can possibly win the AFC Opening League. Turun, let's see. A long, long way to go. But Hyderabad, yes, now have budgets again, and let's see how far they go. So, how do we need to start the protest? Private agent, I think, as I said, social media is one. People need to speak about things, keep every day, not just stop tomorrow and say, TK, we've gotten again. I would like fans to take the protest to stadiums, that they put up banners and tifos criticizing that. It forces then our commentators to speak about it. I think that the commentators are good, that they would speak about these things. And reach out to as many people as possible. I think we need to try and get those who understand, who are good, to also open their mouths and say things. Indian football is in a dark side where fans turn for legacy or club, but not for national team. I feel it's bitter truth. We have to accept it. Yeah, but what legacy? Again, the legacy is also something which is very tough, right? Arunda, any idea what kind of sports structure best countries like America, China have, and how far Indian sports structure? Pratik, the Americans have structured their sports via schools and via colleges, and then on top of it now have, of course, football academies. Let's say, if we just put football, China is a state-run system where they try to scan all the kids and try to filter out the talent, and I think that doesn't work. Do we have an Indian sports structure? I don't think so. India, I think most athletes, individual sports, most athletes are successful because of the individual trying his or her best to try and be successful in sports. That's what I feel is the reason why it is the way it is. State affairs must make sure every school has a football team and organize tournaments accordingly. Leaving football, academic football, we need to build the football culture right from school level. Rishabh, sports is not given a priority in schools. I think that's, I would even go, so therefore, yeah, let's wait and see. But now that you're like a hope for me in context of Indian football, because most of YouTubers just care only about views. You talk about real agenda. Thanks, here and there. But therefore, I also say I call on you guys. Um, you know, um, need to help. Do help me in the promotion. Do help me to grow the channel. More people to join our conversations, and to realize, what is wrong. And that's, I can only request 28 likes so far. 1,859 followers, subscribers, sorry. We need to grow the community. We massively need to grow community. Then if I can have more people behind me and say, listen, I've got X number of followers, maybe then people will listen even more, right? So, yeah, that's also a reality. The quality of state league has agreed because of no foreign and race competition based on my opinion. Yeah, it's most probably it's the right step because you've brought in foreigners for either a lot of money or little money. But again, it's a tough one. I'm happy to hear it. Thanks, Abhishek. The most important part, scouting is nil in India. Yeah, so it's part of the problem. Can we see Vibhan as another creative midfielder option? Yeah, Vibhan could be, but again, that heart of midfield is not our problem. Good night, Akash. DPDL is going great. Private agent, they're trying to do stuff. I know in Mumbai there has been problems. Bangalore, I think they're doing fine. I remember those days I'm following I-League days. It's 3 p.m. match in June. Love on these sports with poor telecast. Yeah, those days are gone. Huh? What do you think about FC Madras? Abhishek, I've only read about them. I know some of the people involved in it. Looks like they're doing a good job, but again, let's see. 2 p.m. games on 10 sports and 10 action was the old days. No promotion, nothing. Yeah, Banjab. Legacy clubs are more than 100 years old, so why are they so bad? By bad, I mean disappointing considering their age. Pranjal, age is not a factor in regard to being successful or not successful. Let's be honest about that. To me, um, if I just look at Germany, for example, right? The second Bundesliga is full of so-called German legacy clubs. There are more legacy clubs in the second tier than in the top tier, right? You have let me just open the German second division's league table, and I'll just tell you how many clubs there are before I say anything wrong, right? That there are so many legacy teams. And 1 second, where is this second Bundesliga? Let me just go to the table, right? I've got Fortuna Düsseldorf 1. I've got Hannover. I've got 2. Karlsruhe 3. Hamburg 4. Hertha 5. Nürnberg 6. Kaiserslautern 7. Cologne 8. Schalke, 9. Right, 9 big teams. Braunschweig, founding member, actually 10, and Preußen. So I've got 8, 9, 10, 11 clubs who have a long tradition in that league. So these are all realities, right? Hi, Amal, welcome back. Legacy clubs must get banned if they can't do anything after 100 years, then they don't deserve any place in top league. Here and there, you're not going to do any banning, right? Then I would also ask, what has the whole ecosystem of clubs done for the last 10, 20, 30, 40, 50 years, right? We have a general problem. The clubs need to do more, but again, the guardrails need to be put in by the federation and by the organizers of the league. So the job is with the AIFF and with the FSDL to do the right things to take Indian football in the right direction. That's the whole challenge. That is the whole challenge but for the system to do the right things in the right direction. Otherwise, we're not going to move forward, right? Yeah, Hamburg, Cologne, yes, Punjab, amongst others. You can't ban clubs for underperforming. You're right, Pranjal. I had my education in a low-budget private school to poorly funded government college. Even they have a cricket team. Well, it's all about the way state and local affairs failed really bad at this. Rishabh, I spent 5 years of my schooling in Kolkata, and there wasn't much, in the late 80s, early 90s, there wasn't much cricket. There was, in Kolkata, football was the main thing. Hockey was played. We played tennis. We played badminton, we played basketball, we played volleyball, we played rugby, you know. Um, that's the reality, right? So therefore, it differs from state to state because there are parts in India, corners in India, where football is a much bigger sport. So these are there, but again, we've never produced the level of players we need to have. Again, whatever the history, legacy, whatever we have, right? It doesn't help. We India never had glory in past. We have to accept that and start building one. Yeah, Pratik, that's the problem, right? People will talk about Asian Games and about Olympics, this and that, and they didn't realize in the 50s the shift started. In the 50s, the FIFA World Cup became the most prominent global tournament, and on the other side, the AFC Asian Cup started in the 60s. So we missed the bus. 1950 to me is the most crucial date. The AIFF's biggest blunder has been not to play the 1950 World Cup. I think if we had played the 1950 World Cup, who knows? We might be another Brazil in football by now, right? I'm a software professional. We take our projects from our clients to modernize the legacy software system. Problem is our legacy clubs don't work on legacy modernization. Yeah, man, they want to run clubs like they used to run it 30, 40, 50 years ago. And that is clashing with modern management in ISL. Why are a Bangalore FC, why are a Mumbai City and FC Goa, even the Blasters with all its problems, better run, right? Indian football is like a joke which have a small space in Kapil Sharma comedy show. Get on Rare, I remember 2014, where Mumbai City was invited to the Kapil Sharma show. We went there. I remember Ranbir was there. Thiago, one of our players, was there. Actually, he wanted me on the show, and I actually opted out. I said, no, I'm not going to go on a comedy show. And we had a great show, and they spoke a lot about football, and yeah, it was great to see. So, yeah, I think a lot of things should have been done, and they haven't happened. Simple thing one, money spent in the right area. Two, scouting. Three, system need, and above that, people run it properly. Yeah, Abhishek, very simple. But for me, as I said, you grassroots, youth football, coaching, competitions, sorted. And the money being put into Indian football, money is not the problem. As you say rightly, money is being spent on the wrong end and on the wrong thing, right? We should be spending money at the lower end to create better product at the top end. But we are spending it at the top end because we are not producing good enough at the bottom end. For Mumbai's context, going into an academy is a thing for a kid who is from an upper middle class or privileged background. School football is at shambles. Yeah, and that's another reality of football in India, right? So um, yeah, that's those are the realities of what things are these days. What percentage of money allocated to AIFF do you think are wasted? Pranjal, again, who allocates the money? Again, the AIFF is getting 50 crores from FSDL. That's the biggest chunk, right? Then the grants from FIFA AFC, which make up a bigger chunk. Government is not putting in any money. And then there are little bits here and there. But yeah, where are we? Most kids in Mumbai don't even know how to make it. They just leave once they're past that standard. Yeah, Rushabh, very right. We can invest in grassroots system, but it's all about leadership, which is always poor. Yeah, I agree. And that's what I'm saying, that again, some people will not agree with me or will not like it, but despite all the criticism, the old AIFF, yeah, something was happening, right? So therefore, for me, it's a challenge of how can we sort things out. Clubs need immediate success. They're not bothered about future. That's the biggest problem, Moinok. That's the biggest problem of especially Kolkata club football, the way it's structured. Problem with top end spending is the money won't benefit the whole system. As of now, it goes to only to functioning of ISL. Yeah. How a state FA is funded. Rishabh, some of them, not some of them, all of them get some sort of grant from the AIFF. So that's one. And then they have to maybe they get support from the state governments. They have sponsors here or there. That's how they're funded. That's why there are certain states where the funding is a complete disaster, right? So therefore, yeah, that's where it is. Right. 1 hour 15 minutes plus already. Those of you who might be new to the channel, welcome to arunfoot. My name is Manav Chaudhary. Today, yeah, black day, I guess, to talk about Indian football. Things aren't the best. It's very disappointing where we stand today. I would at least say, yeah, it's not where I would like it to be. Always like, share, and subscribe. Let's as I say, like let's grow the community. 31 likes so far. Thank you very much. 1,860 people who have subscribed. So therefore, let's hope things work out and we can improve. And as always, need to work hard. We need to work very, very hard and try and change things. And it's not going. Which is the best state of it? Punjab, if you ask me, I would most probably say Mizoram. Mizoram has done a lot of things right in the last 15 years to be where they are. ATK try to copy KKR in football, but the thing is, cricket is complete different structure game. They don't go play at continental level. They actually did have a Continental Cup, and then they had also a T20 Club World Cup or something of that sort as well. But the point is, yes, I don't think that they fully tried to copy really KKR, because I know the people who were running, or still know the people who used to run it. But it hasn't worked. We should explain our government that football has a lot of money, and if developed properly, they can eventually tax the crap out of it in the future. Maybe this will inspire them. Don't think so. Pranjal, lovely thought from your side. It doesn't bother the government at all. Can we give attention to state affairs so that we will be forced to be accountable? You can, but the question is which state affair wants to be accountable, right? Where is it? Look at some of the state affairs which supposedly are better run, who are in total shambles these days. So these are, yeah, one FA per day, yeah. But then again, you've got a month gone, right? So therefore, these are things. These are very tough things. And I said, yeah, the right people need to get into state affairs and all these things. It's not happening at the moment, and that's the big concern, I guess, for all of us. That if the things want to change, or want to change things, we need to get them going. Right. It's 7 o'clock here in Germany. It is 11:30 in India. It's winter time now, so it's 4.5 hours of time difference. Guys, one more time, thanks a lot for being part of the show today. A little bit more negative than I wanted it to be, but again, these are the realities, right? That what can be changed, what needs to be changed, and it's just disgusting. And it's, yeah, can't be explained. But again, I sort of sad to once more say I said so. I said it a lot of times over the last few months on a number of things, and it seems to be that things are not changing for good, and that's my biggest concern at the moment. We're not changing for good, so therefore that's the reality. So coming to it, let me take here on res. Government put efforts and enough initiative for the end, but its state and AIFF who never took anything seriously. There's no single Asian country government who took this much into football. No. Where did this come from? You're so far away from the reality. No, there are governments across Asia, across the world, who do much Yeah, time since changed since yesterday. Exactly. We are in winter time here in Europe. And guys, I have to actually jump on a work call now. So therefore, I have to end this conversation a little early. But again, nearly 1 hour, 20 minutes of talking Indian football. I'll be back tomorrow. Tomorrow, I'm thinking of doing a live watch along for the East Bengal game against Bashundara Kings. Let's see what happens with that. So that's the plan for tomorrow. And yeah, maybe I'll try and work on what could be solutions. What are the things going forward in those short videos? As I said, do like, share, and subscribe. arunfoot. Spread the word. Let more people be part of our conversation. People, they don't have to be like-minded. And Therefore, guys, do keep on supporting. Thanks a lot for that. Actually, you quoted it. Okay. Yeah, but that's not the reality. So, yeah, good night, Abhishek. Good night, everybody else. I'll be back tomorrow night. Thanks. And as always, like, share, subscribe, Arun Foot. Good night, everyone.